Hey, hey, hey. Happy day, hashtag Health Wealth Life Day 61. I don't know if you noticed yesterday, I made a mistake on the date. I wrote the 29th of February. We had an extra day in Health Wealth Life in February. Either way, I wondered if anyone noticed that. I just did. So what have you learned? That's my first question. I like to start the video off with that. What have you learned so far in 61 consecutive days in Health Wealth Life? What's the number one thing you learned? Maybe you learned about juicing, maybe you learned about mindset, maybe you learned about a little food tip, maybe around craving. I've given you a couple of sweet ones there, excuse the pun. Maybe supplements, maybe about commitment, maybe it's about not giving up, whatever it is. Maybe it's about community, maybe it's about finding some people that support you in your goals in life, whether that's in your lifestyle, in your exercise, in your physical, or your business. Who knows? What have you learned? Pop it in the box below if you're watching this live or as a recording. Doesn't matter. Just pop it in and we'll have that conversation. Right, so what's the most important attribute for a must-have attribute for a coach or a trainer for you? What's the most important attribute, a must-have attribute for a coach or a trainer for you? Been having this conversation through social media today, and it's a really interesting conversation. It's a great conversation, great question. So lots of people have been answering and had some great insights and good conversations today around it. You know, it could be a coach. Hey Noz, happy to see you. Welcome aboard. It could be a conversation around a coach of a personal trainer. That's my bread and butter, if you like. What I've been doing for over 20 years. Could be a martial arts coach, could be business coach, could be finance, could be performance, could be emotional, could be anything, right? So what's the most important must-have attribute for a coach or a trainer, in your opinion? You know, so on social media today, I'll give you a few insights of what other people have said. So Sue said to manage themselves and to be objective, to be able to share their story and be vulnerable. Noz said that trust and empathy. That was what happened there? Time just flashed up. Interesting. Anyway, so Hillary said enthusiasm and empathy, and empathy came up again, and it comes up with Roz as well. And empathy is the ability to understand and share the feelings of others. So to be empathetic is to really connect with others, really. It's connecting with others and others feeling like you know each other. James, I'm going to be late for the call, but I will be there, mate. Good to see you on board. It's the first time you've joined. Anyway, so Lee said self-awareness is really important for her. What's the number one must-have attribute for a coach or trainer for you? Xenia, I hope I got your name right, said successful. And obviously people, she talked about, lots of people talk about being leaders and they've never been one. And there's lots of those coaches out there. Ruth, good to see you. Happy birthday for the other day. And Tony said focus, really important to have someone focused. I absolutely relate with all of these. Focus is a very good, important one. Leanne said emotional intelligence. I thought that was interesting. That's like a different a level, that one. Emotional intelligence, not just intelligence. So we're continuing that conversation. I wanted to expand on that. Neil said keeping focused and being able to keep someone or the person they're coaching focused on their why. And that's really important as well. I talk about the why a lot. Simon Sinek does a great one about that. He calls it his golden circles: why, what, how. That's another video. Really good to watch that. Check out Simon Sinek on that one. But Neil brought that point up. Keeping the person focused on their why, because if you know your why, then you'll always find a way. Who else? So Ross said empathy and encouragement, understanding. Christine said conversational intelligence. That's an interesting one. And knowing that what you say to your clients or knowing what the coach would say to you, how much impact that can have. Really important. So who else? Louise said credibility. Ava said to care and to be able to understand and to overcome obstacles. So if you haven't, if I haven't said your name, what's your number one must-have attribute for any coach or trainer in any area of your life? Pop it in the comment box below. And if any of this you think could help clarify, we're looking for a distinction and clarity, because all these conversations, everyday health, wealth, life, is about guiding you to your greatness, guiding you to greatness. So taking yourself from great where you are now to even greater, guiding you to your greatness. So one of the distinction we're creating today is, what is it that you require from a coach? So I'll clarify this and wrap it up at the end, so stay with it. So do you agree, you know, these are great insights, right? It's great to have other people's thoughts, because they might bring up something you thought, actually, yeah, I hadn't thought about that, and that's really important. Maybe emotional intelligence is one of them, like Leanne said. I hadn't thought about that, so it's got me thinking about it, so we can open up the mind to a different view, a viewpoint, and a different a different understanding of what we need from a coach. My why is important. Yeah, exactly, Oz. All of us. And we're all a work in progress, absolutely, 100%. But if we know our why, and that might change over time, but we should always know our why, and that will keep us on track and driving forward. So what else did I want to bring up here? It shows there's a lot of overlaps in there. So empathy was overlapped, 3, maybe 4 people said that. So being able to relate, and I think that's really important. So you feel like you're in the same boat. They can actually understand you, and you can understand them. And that's why some books, like some people will rave about a book and they say that book changed my life, but not everyone in the world does, because it didn't contain all the elements that were specific to that individual, but it did for, you know, maybe 10, 15 or 100,000 people, but it didn't change everyone's life. And that's the same with the coach. It's not every coach is for everyone, and you might need a different coach at different stages in your life, right? So it's just good to clarify at this point in time and have a distinction around what is it that you need. And I'm going to wrap that up, why that's important at the end. So I think the distinction helps us to clarify what we need and how or if it shows up around us, then we can grab it. If we're not aware of what we need our coach to do, and I've made this mistake in the past, hired a coach, thought they were good, didn't actually provide what I needed, and I was left frustrated. I've also had the opposite, where I've hired a coach or got involved in a coaching and a business program, and they've over-delivered. So they've actually blown me away and delivered much more than I was expecting and thought they could. So it can happen both ways. But I think the more distinction we have and the clarity in our own minds and bodies, then the easier it is to pick out that's the right person or group for me. Okay, so I believe it's important to write that down. So write down your number 1 must-have attribute. Maybe it's 1, maybe it's 2 things, maybe it's 5 things. But write them down. Write them down, because then that makes it more real and it clarifies it in your mind. And when it's clarified, you can then see that in the world a little bit more. So it may be, you may need a different coach for different areas of your life. It could be someone in the gym, personal trainer. It could be someone outside of the gym. It could be coaching your nutrition, diet. Could be a business coach taking you through how to grow, develop and expand or scale your business. It could be an emotional coach, it could be any kind of coach, finances, and that. So focus on what it is that you need. This is the distinction we want to make today. What is the number 1 must-have attribute in the coach for you? And pop it in the box below. I'm really interested. If you watch this video live or if you're watching it on recording, pop it in the box below. If anything I've said resonates with you so far, give me a thumbs up, give me a share. I really appreciate it. And you can invite people as you're watching. Press invite a few people to the conversation, and also set the notifications. I'm going to go on again live straight after this, and I'm going to be sharing about a coach that I've used, and absolutely amazing, absolutely over-delivered, empathetic, understanding, intelligent, emotional, had everything, had absolutely everything. So Noz and Emma, thank you for sharing, I appreciate that. So had absolutely everything. So I'm going to go and share that with you, because I think they're amazing and they could really help you if you're looking for an understanding of your business. First step is they give you a free scorecard. So it's a completely free, takes you 2 minutes to take, and you get an overview, like an MOT of your current business, and it will show up where you potentially are a little bit weak, and if you build up that area of your business, focus on that area for a moment of time, and it could essentially expand your whole business, give you better breakthroughs on the business sense. It's the same with the body. So if you're trying to do chin-ups, and for instance your grip's weak, if you spend some time, you spend a program of say 4 to 6 weeks working on your grip, you go back to your chin-ups, you might improve your chin-ups, be able to change the shape and the tone and the musculature and the body fat percentage, body composition, and the shape of your back. So it's important to have a look at where's the weak area. Let's focus in on that, and I'll give that to you. They have a scorecard, this business, that I'm going to recommend to you, that you can take absolutely free. You also get a book for free. They've also got an event coming up at the end of March in London, 31st of March. Highly recommend it. I've been to 2 of these events, and you only need to go to 1 because I've been to a number of their training courses. Absolutely worth every penny, and I'll share that with you as well. You can go down and check out that event if you want, but take the scorecard anyway. It's absolutely free. Why wouldn't you? So here's the wrapping it up. What's the number 1 attribute, must-have attribute for a coach or a trainer for you? Wrapping it up, because when you know what the number 1 must-have attribute is for your coach or your trainer, then they can appear. When the student is ready, the teacher will appear. It's as simple as that. You must have heard that sentence before. If you haven't, you're hearing it now. It's a really truthful, important one to understand, because we can miss it. It's not logical. When the student is ready, the teacher will appear. And how do we get ready? We know exactly what we need, and the person we need will show up. I was doing some work. It was interesting. I was doing some work on. If you watched the video yesterday, it was Guide to Greatness. Doing some work on why I'm here, and how I'm helping people. So the aim of the game is to guide you to greatness. Now that's defining what I'm doing. And now yesterday night, completely separate, I see an advert for exactly that, defining what you're doing in your business and da-da-da. I thought, is that strange? Is that strange? That's a coincidence, whether you believe in coincidences or not. Either way, that happened. Anyway, so when the student is ready, the teacher will appear. What is your #1 must-have attribute for a coach or a trainer? I'm interested to know. Type it in the box below or send me a message directly. If you haven't caught all of this, zoom back to the beginning. A couple of little insights, and I think it's very important that we all clarify and have a distinction around this. It's part of Health, Wealth, Life, day 61 or 60. I always forget. Either way, that's it for today. Write this down. Write it down, the answer to the question of the name of this post, and pop it in here. Invite a friend, give me a share, and I'll see you tomorrow at 6 p.m. We'll keep developing, keep learning. I'll give you another distinction in a daily training that I've had and share with you, and share yours with me. I'm all ears and eyes. Not completely. So have an amazing day. Take great care of yourself and everyone around you. And remember, happy is a skill that you can learn, and this is a better way to bring out your personal best. Let's go get some health, wealth. Let's take the world with us, and I'll see you tomorrow at 6 p.m. Take care, guys.